The days of summer had begun to fade away, and fall was beginning to show her face, with reds and yellows and oranges frosting the tips of many trees around us. We knew time was not on our side, so we headed northeast into Missouri to meet up with the peak of the fall foliage. Little did we know we were driving straight into a cold snap with below freezing temperatures, but more on that later in this video. As we journeyed northeast through Kansas on our way to Missouri, we stopped in the capital city of Kansas called Topeka. There were a few stops we wanted to make in Topeka while we were in the area. One of the stops I was most excited for was the Evel Knievel Museum. Evel Knievel was an American stunt performer and entertainer. Growing up in the 80s and early 90s, as a child I was a huge fan of his and was always excited when he was on TV. However, upon pulling into the parking lot, I knew something was amiss. The parking lot was way too empty. As it would so happen, we arrived on the only day of the week that they were closed. So much to my dismay, it was going to have to wait for another day. I will definitely keep it in mind if I'm ever in the Topeka, Kansas area again. There was, however, one more place in Topeka that I wanted to see before we headed out again. The next stop was to see the great mural wall of Topeka. The vibrant mural wraps around an otherwise boring wall and is full of colorful images celebrating the city's past and present. The Great Mural Wall of Topeka honors the cultural history and ongoing spirit of Topekans and their neighborhoods. We had one last stop to make before we hit the road again, and that was to stock up on some groceries and supplies. There was one thing that truly stood out to us as we re-entered civilization for these supplies. That was just how bad the baby food shortage was of fall 2022. Each individual baby food item was wrapped in its own security precautions. Once we were stocked back up, we were excited to hit the road again. We had another 2 hours to go to our destination, and we knew we were headed in the right direction as the fall colors became more and more vibrant. With the beautiful scenery of the fall foliage, it didn't feel like it took us that long to get to Weston, Missouri, and shortly after that, the Weston Bend State Park, where we would call home for the next couple nights. However, upon arrival, we found signs everywhere stating that due to extreme weather, the water had been shut off until further notice. We do our best to try and stay on top of things to prevent mishaps like this, or mishaps like showing up somewhere only to find out that it was closed for the day. However, sometimes it's fun just to see where the day will take you, and every now and then it catches up with you. It's expected to get to -8 tonight and tomorrow night, so they've turned off all the waters on the faucets. Tara's just checking to see if the bathroom water situation's been turned off as well. And? Yes. Good. We're in luck. So we just arrived at the campground, only to find out. Due to extreme freezing weather, the water has been turned off until further notice. We knew it was going to be cold. We knew it was probably going to be -8, which I think is low 20s. But the water's turned off. But I just checked the bathrooms and the showers, and the water's still working there, so we should still be good to go. Voila.
Now comes the fun part.
You don't plug into power very often. But when unexpectedly is going to drop below 8 degrees, we make allowances. Right, Tara?
What?
We have power because it can get so cold.
Yeah, but that's not going to help us with heat.
We had to quickly prepare to settle into the boler for the evening, as the temperature was dropping quicker than the sun was.
Go. Frank, come in. Here we go.
What you making, Tara?
Homemade beef stroganoff.
Why are we having that tonight?
Because it is, what is it, going to be 20 degrees tonight? It's really cold.
-8 in Canadian.
I don't want to be outside cooking.
Too cold.
So we're making this. It's going to be delicious.
We keep some dehydrated meals on standby for these type of occasions.
Yours will be ready in 5 minutes.
All right, and what are you having this evening?
I'm having chicken teriyaki. I have a tiny little kettle that uses like 300 watts boil water. It does what, like maybe 1 3/4 cups at a time? Well, it doesn't take very long to boil. And I'm going to put this in here just in case I spill anything. You never know.
It smells good.
Delicious. Looks kind of like mushy cat food. I'm sure it'll be delicious.
After dinner, we settled in for the evening just before the temperatures dropped below freezing.
Stella's water. Oh.
Completely frozen solid. Mr. Benny's all snuggled up in the corner.
Hey.
And Stella, she was bored out of her mind, but it was just too cold to be outside for any length of time. Because of the freezing temperatures we're currently experiencing, we're a little more packed in than normal in the boler. The perk is we're at a powered campsite during these freezing temperatures. And Tara can use as much power as she likes to make her coffee.
Yes, but I can use it with the jacket anyway.
You can.
But still, it's nice to not feel like I'm wasting power.
Our goal had been to find some beautiful fall foliage, and we did indeed find that here in Missouri, but the weather was just too cold to fully enjoy it. Stay tuned for our future videos where we show some of the fall foliage that we come across and other adventures that we have while in Missouri.
up in there, Tara.
That's disgusting.
Not a cat
I
litter
think
box.
it's your meal. I think it's your. Oh. I think this is your meal. Yes.
Beef stew, that is my meal for tonight.
Yes. Whoa.